So I received a call yesterday from a company called Dynata, and they were looking to do an election survey to find out about how I was going to be voting in the upcoming election. I decided to entertain the conversation out of sheer curiosity. They asked standard questions about whether I'm planning on voting in person, which of course the answer is yes, and if, what party I associate with, those types of things. But then they went into the local election and they asked me specific questions about how I feel about my local candidates. They did claim to be a bipartisan polling company, so I kept that in mind. But then what was interesting was the specific questions they asked. So they said, we're going to give you 4 facts about the Republican candidate. Which of these 4 facts concerns you the most? They started with something simple. I forget what it was. The second one was about abortion. The third one was, does it concern you that this candidate aligns his views with extremist MAGA Republicans? That doesn't sound bipartisan. And then the fourth one was, does it concern you that this candidate is in support of January 6th insurrectionists? What? So I say to this woman, hold on. This is a bipartisan poll. Are you going to give me ridiculous facts about the Democratic candidate as well? Who's employing you? Of course, she claimed to know nothing. She said she didn't even know what the next question was because she had to go to the next screen. And I said, this is ridiculous. I don't even want to answer this. Go to the next screen. So for the Democratic candidate, again, she brought up abortion. I forget the first one. She said something like, does it bother you that this candidate supports Joe Biden? The fourth one was, does it bother you that this candidate, and listen, this guy, money laundering out the wazoo, but she said, does it bother you that he used his own personal money to invest in pharmaceutical stocks? Really? Guys, this is what you call election interference, election tampering. You can't do any of that. You can't say that. You can't claim to be bipartisan and call people and sway them by giving them misinformation. Then here's a gem from the New York Times who was just informing the public about an upcoming debate. Really? It just happens that the Republican candidate is being described as a peddler of misinformation, while the Democratic candidate is being described as a rising star. Get out of here. And this is how they tell you what to think, and this is how they involve themselves in elections where they shouldn't. And not to mention, right before the election, Michael Henry, who's going up against Letitia James in New York, was banned from Twitter. They silenced him. Unbelievable.